Welcome to Love Lies Chronicles.
I'd really appreciate your comment. It helps me understand if you enjoyed the story and how I can improve in future ones. Garage until you apologize, she ordered. I said, okay, spent $4,000 on upgrades, and never slept better. When she begged to return, I changed the door code. My wife Vanessa said I was sleeping in the garage until I apologized for having lunch with a coworker and coffee with an old friend. I'm Carter, 39, and this is how two innocent conversations destroyed my 11-year marriage and led to me building the most epic bachelor pad Portland has ever seen. Here's what actually happened. Tuesday afternoon, I took my coworker Brooke to lunch at Bamboo Sushi on SE 28th. She's 29, new senior analyst on my team, Stanford MBA, sharp as hell. We had a Q3 budget review meeting scheduled. It was on my calendar. We discussed spreadsheets, projections, client deliverables. The most personal it got was when she told me about her cat getting stuck in her blinds. I laughed. That's it. That's the whole crime. Except Vanessa's friend Chloe saw us. Took a photo through the window of us laughing. Sent it to Vanessa with, your husband's at Bamboo Sushi with some young brunette. Looked pretty cozy. By the time I got home at 6, Vanessa was waiting in the kitchen, phone in hand. That look on her face I'd learned to dread over the years. The one that said I'd already been tried and convicted. Who is she? I set my bag down, confused. Who's who? Don't play dumb. Chloe saw you at lunch today. Brooke? She works on my team. We were reviewing the Q3 budget numbers. You look pretty happy for a work meeting. She turned her phone toward me. The photo showed Brooke and me at the table, both laughing. The angle made it look more intimate than it was. I pulled out my phone, showed her the calendar invite titled Q3 Budget Review Meeting. Showed her the email chain with Brooke, all business jargon and spreadsheet attachments. It was a scheduled meeting. All work. She barely glanced at it. I don't want to hear your excuses. The conversation ended there, but the tension didn't. For 3 days, she gave me the cold shoulder, short answers, sleeping on the far edge of the bed. I thought maybe it would blow over. I was wrong. Friday afternoon, I met my childhood friend Michelle for coffee at Stumptown on Division. She was in town from Seattle for a tech conference. Messaged me on Facebook out of the blue. We grew up together, hadn't seen each other in 15 years. She's married with 2 kids. Her husband knew about the coffee. I told Vanessa that morning at breakfast, meeting Michelle for coffee after work today. She looked up from her phone. Michelle. Yeah, remember? My friend from elementary school. She's in town for a conference. Oh, okay. Have fun. That should have been the end of it. But when I got home that evening, Vanessa was sitting at the kitchen table, arms crossed, phone face up between us. So how was your little date? My stomach dropped. My what? You mean Michelle? Oh, is that her name? Looked pretty intimate from where I was watching. You were watching? The pieces clicked together. You drove to Division Street to spy on me? You said coffee. You didn't say date. It wasn't a date. She's married with 2 kids. I've known her since 3rd grade. Since we were 9 years old. That makes it worse. Some woman from your past you're clearly not over. The absurdity of it hit me. Not over. I haven't thought about her in a decade until she messaged me. I told you this morning I was meeting her. I showed her the Facebook message chain. Completely innocent, Michelle asking if I'd be around. Me saying sure, let's catch up. I showed her Michelle's profile, wedding photos plastered all over it, kids' birthday parties, family vacations. Her husband's account linked right there. Vanessa scrolled through every photo with narrowed eyes, looking for evidence that didn't exist. Finally, she set the phone down. You're sleeping in the garage. I actually laughed. What? You heard me. Until you apologize for both of these situations. I stood there processing the insanity of it. My wife was kicking me out of our bedroom because I'd had lunch with a coworker and coffee with an old friend. Both completely innocent. Both disclosed. Both documented. So you're kicking me out of our bedroom for having a work lunch and coffee with an old friend? Yes. Until you apologize and admit what you're doing. I looked at her, really looked at her, and saw someone I didn't recognize. Someone so convinced of their own narrative that facts didn't matter anymore. I could apologize right now, smooth it over, go back to normal. But normal meant walking on eggshells, meant apologizing for things I didn't do, meant admitting to crimes I didn't commit. Okay. Her eyes went wide. Okay, that's it. Yeah, I'll sleep in the garage. You're supposed to fight for us. I'm supposed to apologize for things I didn't do? That's not fighting for us. That's not how this works. She stared at me, waiting for me to break. When I didn't, she stormed off to the bedroom and slammed the door. I stood in the kitchen for a minute, then grabbed a pillow and headed out back. Our garage is detached from the house, sits at the back corner of our property in Selwood. Two-car space, mostly empty except for my woodworking tools, some storage boxes, and yard equipment. October in Portland meant the nights were cold, hovering in the mid-40s. I found an old camping sleeping bag in one of the storage bins, spread it out on the concrete floor next to my workbench. That first night was brutal. The cold seeped up through the concrete and into my bones. Every time I shifted, my back screamed. Around 3 in the morning, I gave up on sleep and just lay there staring at the ceiling, watching my breath fog in the dim light from the street lamp filtering through the window. That's when it hit me. If I was going to sleep out here, I was going to do it right. The next morning, Saturday, I started researching. Garage conversions in Portland are completely legal with the right permits. People build ADUs, workshops, home offices. I filed online for an interior improvement permit, got approval within a few hours. Then I sat down and made a list. I had about $4,200 saved in my personal account, money I'd been setting aside for new woodworking equipment. Vanessa and I kept separate accounts for personal spending after bills were paid. My money, earned from my job, saved for my hobbies. If she wanted me living in the garage, fine. But it was going to be my garage. I started that weekend. Hit Home Depot and loaded up on rigid foam insulation panels. Called my buddy Luke to help me install them. Luke owns a craft brewery in Southeast, been my best friend since college. When I told him what happened, he just shook his head. Bro, that's insane. Tell me about it. You really not gonna apologize? For what? Having lunch and coffee? He grinned. Then let's build you the sickest bachelor pad this city's ever seen. We spent all day Saturday and Sunday insulating the walls and ceiling, sealing the garage door, adding weather stripping. The temperature inside jumped 20 degrees. I bought a proper electric wall heater and had an electrician buddy install it along with some extra outlets. Added ceiling-mounted LED panels that made the space bright and modern. From the kitchen window, I could see Vanessa watching. She texted me Sunday evening. This is ridiculous. I texted back. You're the one who kicked me out here. You could just apologize and come back inside. Pass. The next week, I focused on flooring. Laid down interlocking foam tiles over the concrete, then covered the main area with thick outdoor carpeting. Suddenly the space felt less like a garage and more like a room. I hit Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace hard, found a barely used queen memory foam mattress, a solid wood bed frame, a real dresser. The camping sleeping bag went back in storage. Wednesday of week 2, Vanessa came out to the garage. I was assembling the bed frame. She stood in the doorway, arms crossed. This is insane. You're building an apartment. I looked up from the Allen wrench in my hand. You kicked me out. I'm making it work. This was supposed to be temporary. Then apologize. For what? I saw what I saw. You saw me having a work lunch and coffee with an old friend, both of which I told you about. Both completely innocent. Her face flushed red. You think I'm crazy. I think you're wrong. She left without another word. I finished the bed frame, put the mattress on, made it up with new sheets and a comforter I'd ordered online. That night, I slept better than I had in our actual bedroom in months. Week 3 is when I really committed to the space. Mounted a 65-inch TV on the wall. Set up my PlayStation. Added a mini fridge and microwave. Stocked them with my favorite foods. Got a killer leather recliner from an estate sale. Built myself a proper desk setup where I could work from home when needed. The transformation was happening fast. Every day I'd come home from work and add something new. Blackout curtains so I could sleep in on weekends. A Bluetooth speaker for music. Plants on the windowsill. Framed posters of bands I actually liked, not the generic art Vanessa had insisted on in the house. This space was becoming mine in a way our bedroom never was. One evening, I was setting up the PlayStation when I heard voices through the wall. The garage shares a wall with the dining room, and the insulation wasn't soundproof. Vanessa's sister Julia was over for dinner. So where's Carter? I heard Julia ask. In the garage. Vanessa's voice was flat. Still? It's been 3 weeks. He won't apologize. What exactly is he supposed to apologize for? There was a pause. Then Vanessa launched into her version of events, making the lunch sound like a romantic date, the coffee like a secret rendezvous with an ex-girlfriend. Julia interrupted her. Wait, back up. Was the lunch on his calendar? Well, yes, but... And you're saying this Brooke woman works on his team? That doesn't mean anything. And Michelle? Did he tell you he was meeting her? Silence. Then, quietly, yes. That morning. So he told you in advance. Met her for coffee at a public place, and came home. You're taking his side. I'm not taking anyone's side. I'm just trying to understand. Has Carter ever cheated on you? No, but... Has he ever lied to you? Not that I know of, but... Then why do you think he's doing something wrong now? Because I saw the way he looked at them. Julia, I saw it. I stood on the other side of the wall, installing a shelf, and felt something shift. Julia was the first person to actually question Vanessa's version of events. The first person to suggest maybe, just maybe, I wasn't the bad guy here. It didn't change anything, but it felt good to know I wasn't losing my mind. That same week, I installed a smart lock on the garage door. Digital keypad, I could change the code from my phone. Vanessa tried the door the next afternoon, and it wouldn't open. She banged on it. Why is the door locked? I opened it just enough to talk. Privacy. Privacy? It's a garage. It's where I live. Because you kicked me out of the house. She pushed past me and stepped inside. Her jaw actually dropped. The TV mounted on the wall, PlayStation controllers on the coffee table by the recliner. Mini fridge humming quietly in the corner. Microwave on a shelf. Plants and artwork. The bed made up like a real bedroom. It looked good. Really good. You've got to be kidding me. You built a bachelor pad? I built a living space. You wanted me out here. The garage, Carter. You're living in our garage like some teenager who got grounded. The garage I insulated, heated, furnished, and paid for with my own money. It's actually pretty nice. She looked around, taking it all in. The mini kitchen area. The entertainment center. The actual living space I created. This is insane. This is what happens when you kick someone out over a business lunch. She left. I locked the door behind her and changed the code. Week 4, Vanessa went nuclear. She posted on Facebook, when you realize the person you married isn't who you thought they were. Within an hour, the comments piled up. Friends asking what happened, offering support. Vanessa responded vaguely, mentioning dishonesty and betrayal. She was spinning the narrative her way, painting herself as the victim. Then Luke's wife Amber commented, maybe you should share the whole story instead of vague posting. 20 minutes later, the comment was deleted. Amber was blocked. Amber texted me. She's making you look like the bad guy on social media. You need to protect yourself. She was right. I started taking screenshots. Every text exchange with Vanessa. Every email with Brooke showing our professional relationship. The Facebook messages with Michelle. My calendar showing the scheduled meetings. Bank statements showing all my garage purchases came from my personal account. Photos of the garage transformation. I documented everything. By week 5, I created something pretty special. The garage wasn't just livable anymore. It was nice. Better than nice. It was exactly what I wanted, free from compromise or someone else's opinion. I added an area rug that really tied the space together. Installed floating shelves for books and plants. Upgraded my bedding. Got a proper coffee setup going. The place had become my sanctuary. Then Vanessa's company announced a hybrid work policy. 3 days in office, 2 at home. She needed a home office space. She knocked on the garage door one evening. We need to talk. About what? I need office space. I'm going hybrid starting next month. That's great. Congratulations. So, I need to use the garage. I opened the door, looked at her standing there like she hadn't kicked me out 5 weeks ago. You're joking. I'm serious. You need to move your stuff back inside. We're inside. The bedroom you banned me from? If you apologize, yes. So let me get this straight. I apologize for things I didn't do, move back into the bedroom, and give you the garage I spent weeks and thousands of dollars making livable? Her face went red. How much did you spend out here? My money. From my account. Want to see the receipts? Carter, be reasonable. I am being reasonable. You wanted me out of the house. This is me, out of the house, on property I half own. You want an office? Set one up in the bedroom, or the guest room, or anywhere that isn't my space. Your space? It's our garage. Was our garage. You made it my living space when you kicked me out. You don't get to take it back now because it's convenient for you. She stormed off. The next day, I saw she'd set up a desk in the corner of the master bedroom, working from the bed. She hated it. I could tell from the way she slammed things around in there. Week 6 brought the breaking point. I'd installed a camera doorbell on the garage, the kind with motion alerts and cloud recording. One Tuesday afternoon, while I was at work, my phone buzzed. Someone was at the garage door. I pulled up the app. Vanessa was there with a screwdriver, trying to force the smart lock. She worked at it for 15 minutes, prying, pushing, cursing. Finally gave up, kicked the door, and stalked back to the house. I saved the footage. When I got home that evening, I didn't even go inside. Went straight to the garage, locked the door, and texted her. Why did you try to break into my space today? It's not your space. Did you or did you not attempt to break the lock? Because I have it on video. My phone rang immediately. I didn't answer. She texted, I needed to get something. What? My Christmas decorations. Those are in the attic. Try again. A pause. Then fine. I wanted to see what you're doing out there. I'm living, which you told me to do. Out here. And attempting to break my lock is destruction of property. I have you on camera. Don't touch my lock again. She didn't respond. That Sunday, Vanessa's mom Diane came over. I was in the garage, had just finished grilling a steak on the electric grill I'd bought. There was a knock. Can we talk, Carter? Sure, Dee. Come in. Diane stepped inside and stopped. Her eyes went wide, taking in the full apartment I'd built. The TV, the kitchen setup, the bed, the living area. It looked like a studio apartment, not a garage. My God, this is actually nice. Thanks. I've put some work into it. She walked around slowly, touching the furniture, looking at everything. Carter, what's going on? Vanessa says you're having an affair. I'm not having an affair. She said you've been meeting with women behind her back. I pulled out my phone and showed her everything. The calendar invite for the lunch with Brooke, clearly labeled as a budget meeting. The email chain, nothing but professional discussions and spreadsheets. The Facebook messages with Michelle, including her profile showing her husband and 2 kids. The text I sent Vanessa the morning of the coffee, telling her exactly where I'd be and who I'd be with. Diane read through it all carefully, her expression growing more troubled with each screen. She really kicked you out over this? She did. And you? You built all this instead of just apologizing? I didn't do anything wrong, Dee. I'm not going to apologize for having lunch with a coworker or coffee with an old friend. Both completely innocent. Both disclosed. So instead, I adapted. She sat down in my recliner, looking around again. This is going to end your marriage, you know that? I didn't end anything. I'm sleeping in a garage because Vanessa chose jealousy over trust. That's on her, not me. Diane nodded slowly, then got up. I should talk to her. After she left, I heard them arguing in the house. The walls are thin enough that Diane's voice carried. I'm on the side of reason, honey. He showed me proof, and you've shown me paranoia. Mom, whose side are you on? I'm on the side of facts. You need to apologize to that man. It felt good, being validated. But it also felt sad. This was Vanessa's mother telling her she was wrong, and she still wouldn't listen. Week 7, I made an appointment with a lawyer. Russell Hampton, family law specialist with an office downtown. The consultation cost me a few $100, but I needed to know where I stood. Russell reviewed everything I'd brought. The documentation of Vanessa kicking me out. The text messages. The calendar invites and emails proving the innocence of both meetings. The bank statements showing I'd used personal funds for all garage improvements. The security footage of her trying to break my lock. The police report I was about to tell him about. You have excellent documentation, he said. If this goes to divorce, you're in a very strong position. I don't want a divorce. I want my wife to admit she was wrong about something. Russell leaned back in his chair, tapping his pen on the desk. Carter, in my 20 years doing this, I've learned something. People who can't admit they're wrong about small things don't suddenly develop that ability when the stakes get higher. They double down, document everything, and prepare for the worst. His words echoed in my head the whole drive home. Wednesday of week 7, I came home from work to find a padlock on the outside of the garage door. An actual padlock, the kind you'd use on a storage unit. My work laptop was inside. I had a team meeting in 30 minutes. I called through the door. Vanessa, open this door. I need my laptop. From inside the house, I heard, apologize first. I have a meeting in 30 minutes. Then you better talk fast. I stood there, furious, and called Luke. Need a favor. Bring bolt cutters. He showed up in 20 minutes. We cut the padlock, and I made my meeting 5 minutes late, apologizing to my team for technical difficulties. After the meeting, I ordered a security camera for the outside of the garage and motion sensor lights. When they arrived 2 days later, I installed them. Vanessa watched from the kitchen window. That evening, 2 Portland police officers showed up. Officer Harrison and Officer Kim. We got a call about a domestic disturbance? Vanessa rushed out before I could respond. Yes. He's taken over our garage and won't let me access my own property. I stayed calm. Officers, I live here. My name's on the deed. I pay half the mortgage. 5 weeks ago, my wife kicked me out of our bedroom over 2 innocent interactions I had with other people. I've been living in our garage since then. Today she locked me out of my own space with a padlock while my work laptop was inside. Officer Kim turned to Vanessa. Ma'am, did you lock the garage? It's my property too. Officer Harrison looked at me. Sir, can you prove you live here? I showed them my driver's license with our address. The mortgage documents with both our names. Utility bills. Bank statements. Ma'am, is his name on the deed? Officer Kim asked. Yes, but then he has a right to access any part of the property, including the garage. But he's living out there. That's not normal. Officer Kim's expression was patient but firm. Ma'am, did you prevent him from accessing his belongings today? Vanessa went quiet. Then, softly, I just wanted him to talk to me. That's not legal, Officer Harrison said. You can't lock someone out of property they own. You two need counseling or lawyers. This isn't sustainable. After they left, Vanessa was sitting at the kitchen table crying. I stood in the doorway. This has to end, Vanessa. I know. Will you finally admit I didn't do anything wrong? She looked up at me, tears streaming down her face. I saw the way you looked at her. At both of them. You saw me having normal human conversations. There was no special way. There was just me, being a person, being friendly, being professional. I don't believe you. Something inside me broke. Not my resolve. My hope. Then we're done. I filed for legal separation the next morning. The papers requested exclusive use of the garage, documentation of the separate finances I'd used for improvements, and formal property boundaries. Vanessa got served at her office on Friday. She came to the garage that evening, papers in hand, mascara running. You're really doing this? What choice are you giving me? You called the police on me. You locked me out of my own space. You've been telling everyone on social media I'm having an affair. You refuse to believe me about 2 completely innocent interactions. What am I supposed to do? Trust me. I'm asking you to trust me. That's what I've been asking for 7 weeks. Because you're lying. I'm not. And that's the problem, Vanessa. You'd rather believe your jealous imagination than your husband of 11 years who has never given you a reason to doubt him. She set the papers on my workbench and walked out. The next week was a masterclass in manipulation. Vanessa tried everything. She started walking around the house in lingerie, visible through the windows. I ignored it. She texted me, I miss you. Come inside. I replied, do you believe me about Brooke and Michelle? Can we just move past this? That's not an answer. No response. Her friends started messaging me. You're destroying her. She's devastated. How can you be so cold? I sent each one the same response. The facts. The calendar invite. The email chain. The Facebook messages. The timeline. Most stopped responding. 2 actually texted back variations of, holy shit, we didn't know. She made it sound completely different. Vanessa sent me a Venmo request for $2,100. The note said, half of garage improvements, marital property. I declined it and sent her one for $3,200. The note, half of bedroom furniture I'm not allowed to use. She called immediately. That's not the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. She hung up. She made my favorite meal, her mom's lasagna recipe that takes hours. Brought it out to the garage on nice plates with wine. I made this for you. Thank you. I took the plates. Do you believe I wasn't flirting with anyone? Carter, please. That's not an answer. I closed the door. Week 8, I filed for divorce. The papers cited irreconcilable differences, hostile living environment, false accusations, and irreparable breakdown of trust. The process server found Vanessa at work. She called me from her office, sobbing so hard I could barely understand her. You filed for divorce? You gave me no choice. I'll go to counseling. We can fix this. Please. Counseling only works if both people admit there's a problem. You still think I did something wrong. Maybe I overreacted, but There's no but, Vanessa. Either you believe me or you don't. I want to believe you. That's not the same as believing me. That's you saying you want to stop fighting, but you still think I'm guilty. Silence on the other end. Then, what do you want from me? I wanted you to trust me. That's all I ever wanted. To know that after 11 years together, my word meant something to you. But you'd rather believe a photo taken out of context than the man you married. She hung up. Her lawyer reached out to Russell a week later. The assessment was straightforward. Vanessa had no case. The documentation was overwhelming. She'd initiated the separation, destroyed my property, locked me out, called the police on me, posted defamatory content online. Her own lawyer advised settlement. Vanessa refused at first. She wanted half the value of the garage improvements, moving costs paid, and a public apology from me on social media. Russell called me. She's not being reasonable. We can take this to court if you want. You'll win. Make a counteroffer. I'll keep the house and pay her 40% of the equity since her behavior created a hostile environment. She takes her belongings within 30 days. Mutual non-disclosure agreement, so neither of us can post about this online. Vanessa rejected it. Moved to her sister Julia's house in Beaverton. 2 weeks later, Julia called me. I thought you should know. Vanessa finally admitted to me last night that maybe she was wrong. Maybe you really were just having lunch and coffee. Did she apologize? No. She said if she admits she was wrong, it means she destroyed your marriage over nothing. She can't live with that. So she'd rather lose everything than admit a mistake. Yeah, I'm sorry, Carter. You deserved better than this. The final settlement came through 3 weeks later. I kept the house and paid Vanessa 45% of the equity, $127,000. She got all the bedroom furniture, her personal items, and decorations. 90 days to move everything out. Mutual non-disparagement clause. She signed without negotiating further. The day she moved out, Julia helped her pack. I stayed in the garage, gave them space. When they'd loaded the last box, there was a knock on my door. Vanessa stood there, eyes red. I really did love you, you know. I loved you too. But love without trust is just words. Are you happy now? You won. Nobody won, Vanessa. We both lost. The difference is I lost because you didn't trust me. You lost because you couldn't admit you were wrong. She stared at me for a long moment, then turned and left. 6 months later, I'm still in the house. The garage has become legendary among my friends. I've started dating casually, being upfront about the baggage. Most people are shocked when I tell them the story. One woman I met at Luke's Brewery said, "Wait, you built an entire apartment in your garage because your wife kicked you out over lunch and coffee?" Essentially, yes. She laughed. That's either the pettiest or the most amazing thing I've ever heard. Can it be both? We're still seeing each other. Last month, Michelle and her husband visited Portland for another conference. I invited them over for dinner. We sat in my garage apartment, now complete with a new 75-inch TV and a mini-split heating and cooling system I'd installed after the divorce finalized. "This place is incredible," Michelle's husband said, looking around. "Thanks. Built it 5 weeks, about $4,200. Michelle shook her head. "I still can't believe your wife thought we had something going on. Carter, we played Pokemon together in 4th grade. We were 9. Her husband raised his beer. "If my wife ever kicks me out, I'm calling you for the blueprint." I'm sitting here now in my garage apartment, drinking a local IPA from Luke's Brewery, watching the Blazers game on my ridiculous TV. Sometimes I wonder if it would have been easier to just apologize. Smooth it over. Go back to normal. But then I remember what normal was. Walking on eggshells. Defending innocent interactions. Being guilty until proven innocent in my own marriage. That wasn't a partnership. That was a prison with nice furniture. Got a text from Brooke yesterday. Just got promoted to senior manager. Remember that Q3 project we discussed at Bamboo Sushi? Exceeded targets by 40%. We should celebrate. Drinks? I texted back, absolutely. I'll bring my girlfriend. The thing that destroyed my marriage wasn't lunch with a coworker or coffee with an old friend. It was Vanessa's absolute certainty that she was right and I was lying, even when every piece of evidence proved otherwise. She chose her jealous imagination over 11 years of trust. She chose control over partnership. She chose being right over being married. And I chose myself. The garage is pretty damn nice. But the Real upgrade was my self-respect. I sleep better now than I have in years.
Dear listeners, please share your thoughts in the comments. And do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.